Have you guys noticed that agriculture is becoming a big thing nowadays? I don't know if it is the spike of a lot of YouTubers that is making agriculture like a hot topic, or the timing is just right for everybody to go into agriculture, or finally we are seeing the importance of what we eat and we are all tending to focus on it, which is a good thing. But why am I doing this video today? Because even though it's a good thing and a lot of people are rushing into it, it is very sad to also know the number of people that are failing in the agri business. So if you're listening to me now and your plan is to go into livestock farming, crop farming, or anything relating to the agri business, then hold on, because this video is gonna be yours. I'm gonna share with you 3 most important things you need to avoid before you go into agriculture. Ever since I moved back to Ghana, I have spent a lot of times and years in the agri industry, and I've learned so much. And today I want to share about 3 of the biggest mistakes that you new farmers or new agri entrepreneurs, if you want to go into it, needs to avoid. So if you're thinking about going into the agri business because of all the nice things, the beautiful things you've heard on YouTube, then stay on, because this video is going to be yours. Welcome back, guys, and I'm glad you stick around, because today I want to talk to you guys about 3 mistakes that you should avoid. And where am I getting these 3 mistakes from? It's from engaging with a lot of you. After my experience in the livestock industry, of course, I engage with a lot of farmers that are already in the business and are facing challenges, and they share with me what those challenges are and what they've done wrong. I also have the opportunity to engage a lot of new farmers to look at what they are thinking and advise them on what to do, what not to do. If you're thinking the same way and you want to talk to me, please contact the number in the screen and get in touch with us. Whether you're a new farmer or you're an old farmer, we can all talk and build your farm business together. Why am I doing this video? Because a lot of people come out and say agriculture doesn't work. You know, if you want to lose your money, that's where you go into agriculture. And the reason is because a lot of us are failing. And why are we failing? We are failing because I feel like every African is a farmer at heart, because we grew up whether having goats, whether having crops, or whether going to the farm with our parents. And therefore, we believed that, you know, we are farmers. So when we want to go into agriculture, we do not think outside. We just think about how we were exposed to as a child or living in your village, and we jump right into it. People will go and say, I want to be a tomato farmer, and all what they do is go buy the variety of seed that they have at their disposal and just go and plant, trusting God for the rain and trusting the soil to just produce for them, not knowing that the way you used to do farming maybe 20 years, 15 years back, that climate has changed, that soil has changed. The variety of seed that you used to use 15 years ago is not going to survive with the change of climate, with the change of soil. And therefore, a lot needs to be done. This is not me discouraging you from starting, but all what I'm saying in mistake number 1, that if you're going to start something new, please start small and use that time to be able to perfect your crafts. Most of you come to me and you want to start even goat farm. You just want to start with 60, 70, 100. And sometimes I advise you, start with less, start with 10, start with 5. And you're like, Fred, if it's, what would I do with 5 goats? What would I do with 10 goats? I have 10 acres, I have 11 acres. Why? If it's only 10 goats, then what am I doing here? But the problem is, if you don't start small, you will not understand the challenges that is around you. Yes, you might come here and you might see what I'm doing, it's working, and therefore it has inspired you to go and start. But I have been able to understand this environment. Even this place, we just moved to Suhum. I always tell myself, till I run this place for about 2 years, I will not understand all the dynamics here. Right now I'm here and it's what? And it has started raining. We've received about 7 different rains just in February. Where we were in Brekum, we have probably received 1 last 2 years, right? So there is a lot for me to even learn here. And it's the same thing for you, wherever your farm is, whether it's crop, whether it's livestock, you need time. Not everything is about money. Sometimes it takes time for you to learn and understand. So yes, I understand that 5 goats, 10 goats might not mean anything to you, but consider that as a learning process. Consider that as a time for you to understand the nature, not only nature, for you to even test your workers. Are they going to stay? Are they even workers that are reliable enough? Because after 1 year, if they are not, they're going to leave you. So imagine if you have 40 goats, 60 goats, and at the end of the year, you have nobody to take care of them because you didn't take the time to manage and get to know your workers and so on. So please, this is mistake number 1. Start small. Get in touch with us, get the right expertise, and start with a small number so that you can progress as time goes by. Okay? I hope number 1 makes sense. I know you have money. I know you have big size of land, but I'm telling you, there's challenges you don't understand. Even if you have the expert, even if you have the knowledge, you're in a new environment, wait, start small, give yourself a year, understand where you're working, then you can start expanding gradually, right? The market is not going anywhere and no one is chasing you. Life is not about race. Number 2 is planning. So like I said, it's just been February and we've received about 7 different rainfall this year. But come see how the grass is doing.
Hello guys, my name is Adam Go Get 'em. Do well to follow Farming in Africa on YouTube and all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and anywhere you find them. Farming in Africa, let's go get 'em.
Right, so if you're a livestock farmer and you're not doing this, then you're about to fail, right? So before you even bring your animals in, plan. Everything is about planning. If you look at our farm, now I'm standing at our sales yard quarantine facility, right? But my farm is all over here. Even the way your farm needs to look, where you position the staff quarters, where you position your sales yard, where your actual farm is, where your storage is, everything, or where your offices are, all these things needs to be planned. So please, let's not just jump into agriculture. We go to the land and we say, oh, let's do this, and then we do it. Let's do that. It needs planning, especially if you're thinking of it as a business, right? So planning is number 2. But most importantly, as a livestock farmer, planning your feed. We all know that in livestock farming, one of the biggest challenge we all get is source of feed. And most of the time what happens is we have to let our goats, our cattle, our sheep go around just grazing. We know that that causes a lot of havoc to us and also to the people in the community. And therefore it's very important for you to plan your feed. This is the cementia grass. We have the seed available, 1 kg for 1 acre. Contact the number below, get some. We have all kinds of grass that you need to be able to establish your own pasture. If you look at this place behind me, this is pasture and it's just going to be ready for them. So the more our animals expand, the more food we have for them. So planning your food before you introduce your animal is very important. Otherwise you will get your animals and you might not have access to feed. I know most of you will rely on cassava peels, but you can't feed one food alone to your animals the whole time. And how sustainable is cassava peels when you have 20 animals, 10 animals? And therefore the easiest way that have worked for us, that I will recommend to you as well, is to be able to plant your own feed. Take advantage of this rainy season that we are about to set in, and plant your feed so that before you even buy your animals, sometimes in the next 2-3 months, you already have food that is growing for you so that you don't make the mistake most people make. Great. So talking about the rain season sort of takes us to our point number 3, which is the season at which you breed your animals. I think, there's pros and cons to what season that is better for you. But to us, breeding your animals in the rainy season can be a huge mistake depending on where you are, right? So what are the pros and cons? So when you breed your animals in the dry season and you're not well prepared with feed, what happens is you have a lot of miscarriages because your goat, your cattle, your sheep are not getting the nutrition they need to be able to nurture the baby inside them. So you end up losing them. The good side to it is that if you have good feed and ready prepared like we are, then dry season is the best time for you to breed your animal. Because what? In the dry season, it's not raining, so your animals at a very young age are not exposed to bacteria that can kill them. So you reduce your mortality rate very low, right? But on the other hand, in the rainy season, yes, you might have a lot of food because everywhere is green. But the moment your kids are born, which is the goat babies are born, they are exposed. If you don't have the right infrastructure, they are also exposed to worms and to bacteria that can easily kill them before they get to about 2-3 months, right? So the rainy season, mostly for the farmers that we deal with, that we know that you don't have the infrastructure to be able to keep your animals well in the rainy season, I would advise you breed rather in the dry season. So a lot of people get in touch with me, especially now that the weather is colder, you know, that my babies are dying. Anytime the goat give birth is dying. If you look at our farm, we have the gestation pen, right, which is confined with heat bulbs that we are able to keep. Even if an animal give birth in the middle of the night, we're able to take them there, warm them, keep them from bacteria, and they grow till a certain age before we transfer them to the main pen. Not everybody will have that facility, and therefore the best thing to do is to plan your breeding season. How do you plan your breeding season? So depending on where you are, whether you are in West Africa, East Africa, South Africa, depending on where you are, you want to plan your breeding season so that your animals will give birth in the dry season for you. How do you plan your breeding season? You plan your breeding season by, first of all, knowing how many months is the gestation period for either your goat or cow. So if you're doing goat, you're looking at 5 months. If you're doing cattle, you're looking at what? About 9 months. So then you start the calculation from there. Based on that 9 months or 5 months, you decide, okay, I'm going to expose them to a male in this month, and counting forward 9 months will end me in the dry season. Counting forward 5 months will end me in the dry season. Right, so that's how you do it. But you cannot do that again if your male is always with your females, right? So one thing you need to do is to be able to separate your males from your females and properly plan when you want your females to give birth, right? So do these 3 things as a beginning farmer. Take these notes, keep them in your book, and I assure you that you have some success. So number 3, we talk about breeding. Making sure that you breed at the right time based on where you are, your geographical area. I don't want to use month and say breed in May, because I don't know what is happening to you that is watching me in May in your country. If you're in the Philippines, if you're in the Caribbean, if you're in Africa, different climate, different weather. But you need to calculate and make sure that you plan better so that you keep your kids. The kids that will be born are your profit. Number 2, you want to make sure that your feed is established before you even introduce animals. Don't go and buy animals when you don't have feed, because what would they eat? You will end up losing them. Then number 1, you have to plan ahead, right? Prepare yourself before and start small. It's not all about money. Once you plan, you start with what you can and you learn from that, and you expand gradually so that you just don't drop all your eggs in one bowl and collapse yourself. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this video, and thank you for watching, and we'll come your way again with another video next week. Bye bye.